All right, we are live. Boo. All right, well,
Did you want me to stream this to mine too? I didn't know.
we just now talking about yeah, yeah. That's why I sent you the link and the thumbnail and the post.
I'm
Did
sorry.
you
I'm sorry. I was so busy. I'm sorry. You're right. You're right.
It's okay. Did you want to do that real quick? I don't know
I'm
if you
setting up
can.
now, but we're live now. So what's the name of the show? Oh, sex after. I'm gonna just put sex after 50. Sex.
Yeah, sex after 50 and STDs, and then we can just cut out the beginning part as you stream it to your folks. All right. Thanks. Thanks for the folks joining today's show. We're going to have a pretty good conversation, I believe. Yeah. We were actually looking up some data because we want to have an informed discussion. So all right, you tell me when you're ready, Dr. L.
Oh, we're ready. I mean, we're already live. We're a
Oh,
minute
okay. I
eight
will show.
minute and 20 seconds in, so it's streaming
Okay.
already. It should
You
be
are you
streaming already.
did you get it to your audience?
I just put it over there. Yeah, I don't have the.
Okay.
It should probably upload your thumbnail, so we should be good.
Okay. All right. Well, today's conversation. Okay, so I'm going to be playing around with trying to screen share. I haven't really screen shared, y'all. Okay, so Dr. L wanted me to mention that he said that's an interesting title. So today is I have herpes. Dr. L said, "Look, that's not me. I know it's not you, Dr. L. I didn't say. I put it in quotations. I didn't say it was you. This is an actual question that I did receive, honestly, and I'm glad." He did send me another message because I had forgotten to have this conversation. I did invite Dr. L to have this conversation with me just because I want to hit it from both angles. So I'm going to read the question. This is a subscriber question, and I wanted to make sure that I address his question again from my perspective as a female, as an educated female who studied science and health in college. Those who don't know, I studied animal science. I'm supposed to be a veterinarian, darn it, but here I am on YouTube. And of course, from Dr. L's perspective, as an educated, handsome black man who likes to join my show, right? Look at him blushing.
I like to do the show.
But okay,
Okay.
I'm gonna try to look. I'm gonna try to share the email. So hopefully I don't disconnect. And you know what? And I'm in IT. Ain't that something? All right. So let me make sure that I share the right thing. Hopefully, I may not be able to share it. Let's see. It's not the entire screen. Oh, Dr. L may not be able because I don't even see it as an option. Oops, I might just have to read the email.
Oh my
Okay, well
God!
there
Send
goes
it to me.
that.
Oh, I have it on my phone here. Hold on. Oh Lord,
Okay.
I gotta do everything. Okay, hold
Yes, he has to do everything.
on. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I mean, but I can read it. I'm going to read the email. And he just wanted me to put it on the screen. All
That's
right.
go ahead.
I'm going to read the email, and this is a actual question. So it says, "I hope this email finds you well. Love your content, and thank you for all that you do. Thank you. I appreciate that. I am a single 50-year-old man with herpes. Due to this, I am very conflicted about dating in general. Afraid and can become quite anxious in disclosing this information, but will always disclose as a responsible person. I would love to see if you can get an expert. Well, that's going to be Dr. L and myself, or slash coach in this matter to discuss this further. As most of our community, and our community, I'm assuming the Black community, suffers from anxiety due to being afraid of being stereotyped or rejected altogether. To the point that I don't know if it's a mental block or not, but I suffer from some sort of ED. I was looking to see if it was ready for me to share on the screen. But I
No, no, no.
suffer from some sort of ED, and I won't approach or let anyone close as to not feel further embarrassed or shamed where I can perform properly. He put perform in quotations. Believe me, there's a lot of us with such concerns and would love advice in this matter. Should you decide to dive into this subject, kindly, of course, I would never mention anybody. Everybody's look. You send me a question, I'll be damned, but I would not. I didn't even share the name with you, Dr. L, right? And is it better to date within our community or continue to handle being stereotyped, bullied, rejected in all the general public? So that is the question. So I want to talk about then, because honestly, I think you and I both were a little shocked of the numbers, right? I had no idea as looking up and these are old data point numbers as far as like the our community, and I did look up the in the African American community the STD rates, especially when it comes to herpes. And one number I did find, which I think I did not know this. It says it's like almost 50% of black women have genital herpes. Did you know that, Dr. L? And that's a 15-year-old article.
I didn't know that. Yeah, and I wanted you to put up the article because
Oh,
ain't nobody
I
gonna
am.
believe that.
Okay. And
I
this
did.
was
I was looking up
yeah.
I was looking before I looked up the number of HPV, and that was crazy. I mean, so y'all need to stop playing around and get yourself a husband or a wife or whatever, man. It's crazy out here.
Yeah, that's great. Oh, now, am I sharing the screen, hun?
Yep,
Can you
yep, I
see
can
it?
see it. Yep, yep, yep.
Okay, so it says at 48%. That, and that's very okay. So I honestly, I did not know that. And then let's see. Let me go back here. Now.
Look at that. Nationally, you
Oh, I'm sorry, boo. Because I was going to share the other one for men. But go ahead. You want me to go back to share that
yeah,
one?
yeah, 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 because it was
Okay, my
saying
bad.
nationally the numbers were 14% or something like that. It said nationally about
National
16.
16.
Go ahead. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Oh, right. Oh, I'm sorry, hon. Yeah, you're right. About 16% of Americans between the age of 14 and 49 are infected with genital herpes. But 48% of black women, that number is very, very high. I would have honestly never thought that. Roughly, look, 39% of blacks were infected compared with roughly 12% of white folks, right? Okay, so then I saw the other article where, and these are old numbers. Like I was trying to find, updated numbers. Like this article is look, this is almost 20 years old, from 2006. And I know you were looking at the CDC rates and the data that you were pulling up. You couldn't even pull up anything after was it 2014, Dr. L?
Yeah, I'll put it up here so we can see so you can see what we're saying here. So
Okay. Oh, go ahead,
so
huh?
so this is from the CDC, and you have to put in all this different stuff here.
Oh, no, not that one.
Yeah.
The other one.
So when you put in this different stuff here, right? United States, and you go to the years, it just says 1996 to 2014. It doesn't give you anything past that. So, and so that's kind of odd to me, but so when I put in United States, right? Disease, let's see. Yeah, disease, United States in DC, 2014, Black and Hispanic, and we'll put 40 plus years. And then I hit send. What is this? No, sorry. Try it again. So it comes up with some crazy numbers again.
Mhm.
The population, the rate per population is 54 for chlamydia, 19 per 100,000 for gonorrhea, and primary and secondary syphilis is 1.13. So the rate for all diseases is 24 point, almost 25% per 100,000 people. So, which
Mm.
is
Well, I know that's crazy, right? And so Better Love Movement says men do not tend to disclose. Oh, that's Anita. Girl, hey Anita. Hey Anita, girl. You want to join the conversation? Look, I don't even know. Look, don't get I might shut it down for all of us on here. But I don't know about that. Like, okay, and I see a whole lot of comments here. I see this guy here in Atlanta gave his wife AIDS, and I've seen stories of that, right? And so this is
this
a
guy
real
and a lot of people. Ain't that always going on out there?
I,
I don't mean to be
but the
laughing
thing
about it,
is,
but
I know, stop laughing, boo. No, but the thing is, like, we keep hearing this. Like, I know a young lady like on Instagram, and I follow her for fitness. And if anyone, I don't want to put her, but she talks about it. She's very vocal about her experiences. But she started off as a fitness account, Black woman in Virginia, and I am in Virginia, and she had a boyfriend, and she went and got her physical, and had no idea that it was going to come back and say that she had HIV, that she was given HIV from her boyfriend. Of course, I guess soon as she got that notice, like all pictures of him and everything disappeared from her Instagram. Of course, they're not together anymore. But beautiful young lady. She's probably in her 30s. I'll say young. I mean, I feel like everybody young, right now, except me. But I am 20, 27, 8, 9, 40, 950. But anyway, she got HIV from her boyfriend. So it's yeah, lots of folks have herpes simplex. Is it simplex 1 and 2? Is the difference one here on your lip, on your mouth
Yeah,
and genitals?
cold sores are technically herpes. Yeah. So
Is that 1 or 2?
I don't know which one it is. I don't know. I just know that it
Okay.
counts. I just know it counts. Yeah.
And yes, HPV absolutely is very, very prevalent. My sister passed away from cervical cancer, and cervical cancer can come about from HPV, just like oral cancer. And y'all know how it ain't a rocket science, since I got to explain how some people may get that, right? But that you can get from HPV as well, right? And they have the vaccine. If you're under 45, if you're 45 and under, they do have the vaccine that you can get it's to prevent HPV. And I just, when I was 45, I just happened um literally turned on the TV, and I saw that before, about 10 years ago, they had only had that vaccine approved for teenagers. So a lot of our kids who are in their 20s and 30s probably got the vaccine as their teenagers, but they approved that vaccine. Gardasil, is that what it's called? I can't remember, but up to 45. So if you're 45 and under, just know that, there is a vaccine for you, because I was 45 when I saw the commercial. And if you don't think I ain't run down there and go get the damn vaccine, because I knew my sister passed away from cervical cancer. She says, Lynn L says simplex 1 is cold sore. So I guess simplex 2 is the genital herpes that we can find on people's genitals. Clearly. Let's see. I worked with an OBGYN. HPV and HIV, right, are real. Lots of women had surgery due to HPV. I believe it. So let's go back to the comment to where she says men do not tend to disclose. Now, Dr. L, you're a man. And not that I expect you to speak for all men, but here you are in the man seat, So do you think that's true, that men just tend to not disclose?
That's a good question. I really don't know. I mean, I've never had a conversation with any other man about that. So I'm just going to assume that there's some truth to that. So it's probably a little bit embarrassing, and I guess particularly for the type of disease that one has, um, you know, how they got it may be a little embarrassing. But I don't know. I mean, I've never had that conversation with any of my friends. Hey, do you disclose? Hey, I got this. Do you think I should tell somebody? It was always, hey, listen, go down to the clinic and get taken care of. If I knew anybody had anything, So, and of course the conversations that I had were always, wrap up, take care of yourself, don't be out here, doing dirty stuff. But I've never heard anyone saying, "Psh, I'm just not gonna tell anybody," I've never come across that. So,
Well, we
um
know they exist. Okay,
oh, yeah,
so
definitely, definitely. Yeah.
well, okay, I want to touch up on a comment you just said about how they got it. Maybe there's a stigma around that. Now, we know there's a stigma in the Black community with people being on the DL and not disclosing that. They think, oh, well, and it's unfortunate, because it's not fair to the woman. a lot of men and say, well, I'm not gay because I'm effing him. Like I'm in his booty hole. We just gonna be graphic on here, right? But I'm just gonna not be too graphic, right? And I'm not
Too late.
receiving I'm not receiving his penis. I'm giving him my penis, right? So I'm not gay, and so why would I have to tell her? And it's like, you gay? If there are two swords in the mix, I don't know who needs to hear this, but it's gay. And it's nothing wrong with you being gay, but damn, can we be honest? Can we be honest to the women that you're dealing with, and not sit here and hide that fact? Like, I know there's a stigma in the Black community that it's, of course, it's shunned upon. And we know that the Black community, I seen it many times where people, use I mean, there's great things in the Bible, but then we see that people take the words of the Bible and then they was using the Bible at cross barons, right? Out there lighting Black folks up and got the Bible in their hand. So I feel like you could use the Bible to say whatever you want in your message, right? Just like I could skew data any type of way, but they use the Bibles. They chasing us down with burning crosses and then break out the Bible right there. So, you got to be careful how you use the word, right? But we know that for years, I feel like the church, the Black community has shunned homosexuality. So a lot of people have been forced into the closet to our detriment, right? And should I stop sharing? Oh, maybe I just stop sharing the screen. Or did you want to show something,
No,
honey?
no, go ahead. I was going to look for it. Somebody put something on the screen about HIV rates. I want to see if I can get that. But until I get it, you can stop sharing if you want.
Oh, okay. Okay. I forgot. Sorry. I was still sharing. But anyways, it's like, well, we have these high rates, especially in Atlanta. I'm just saying, DC metropolitan areas, right? We have these high rates because people are hiding that part of them. And I feel like it's not fair, like, but nothing I say is going to change, that stigma that we have in our community. Like, but how can, in your opinion, and I have my opinion, I'm gonna tell you right now, I have my opinion, but your opinion, Dr. L, or anybody that's watching, like, what can we do? Let's say you get into a relationship. What are some of the things that you can do, or uh, I don't know if you can even prevent that, identify it. Like, I don't, can you identify, does anybody have any clues of somebody who, what to look for? Somebody's on a DL, because I feel like everybody's not going to come out and say, yeah, I'm on a DL. Yeah, I like to intake penis from time to time. I feel like nobody's really look at me like that, doctor. You know what I'm saying? Like, are there clues,
Oh, no, I
hints?
don't know what you're saying. Oh. Let's be very clear about that. I do not know what you're talking about.
Okay, somebody out there knows what I'm saying. I'm not saying this subscriber, I'm not saying that at all. Subscribers ask an excellent question. I think this is something we do need to talk about, y'all, because especially y'all, I'm telling you now, we've been in relationships. A lot of us were married. We're on the second half of our lives, out here dating again. Don't want to, like, damn, I didn't use a condom for 25 years. Now I got to start using condoms, because I didn't use one when I was married, and now my penis got to get used to that extra layer, right? So this is a conversation that we need to have, because we got to get out here and we got to protect ourselves, so we're not on that STD CDC, statistic board. Okay, so maybe you don't have any clues. Maybe I'll give something then, since you don't
No, no,
you don't want to get no.
I was joking around. I can say something about this. So,
Okay.
okay, so you're just be clear. You're talking about identifying somebody, a man who's on the down low. Is that what you're saying? Is that
Yeah.
what
So I mean, yeah, for either that or just ways, what can women do? Like,
I think
to be when we're in that situation.
I think that you got to ask. First of all, you got to ask the questions. You got to be blunt and just ask the question. Have you been with a man? Do you like men? I mean, you got to, whether you say it a roundabout way or just say it bluntly. You got to just tell. You got to get it out there. Put it on the table. Everything else that goes on the table, we talking about this table talk. You got to put that on the table, right? Have you ever done it? Are you presently doing it, et cetera, et cetera? And yeah, you're right. There's probably some guys out there who are going to say, no, listen, I don't, because they don't think that because they don't think that they are the receiver, that it don't count. I watched a TV show. I think it was, Law and Order, and these guys. Now, this is obviously a fictional TV show, and it was about guys who had a Wednesday night poker game. Right, they would get together and always play poker, 4 or 5 guys. And meanwhile, that's what they were really doing at the poker game, was really just poking each other. So it was really just this thing that was going. I guess it's a thing that goes on. I don't know. But I think you got to put it on the table. I think the guys should be honest. And listen, I think if you're coming out here, as you mentioned, you're out here, you were in a long-term relationship for a long time, your spouse died, or you're just getting out here after a divorce or something, and you really find somebody you really want to be with, and you want to engage without the prophylactic, you got to get tested. You got to get tested. And if I run into people who didn't want to get tested and said, no, we're good, or
Hmm.
when I bring it up, they don't want to do it. So you got to put it out there. And listen, for me, it's a no-go. And I've had a lady tell me one time, listen, she had herpes, and she was, and they try to give you the story about being in, different outbreaks and stuff like that. So, but I was like, okay, listen, I appreciate you telling me, but this ain't going nowhere. So, and it's a tough conversation. I don't mean to be dismissive about it, but you have to tell someone, and some people are going to be okay with it. Some people might be okay with it, but it's a tough conversation.
It is a tough. Okay, so let me dive into a little bit because I do want to Fid B, I do want to answer, let's talk about the risk associated with the HPV vaccine. I see they're asking, and if you would like to put in some risk in the chat, by all means,
I saw that too. I'd like to know what that is, because
yeah.
I got my daughter that when she was 12, and she's
Yeah, I don't know
27
the
now.
rest. I'm gonna tell you right now.
Yeah.
I At the time, because again, my sister, we buried my sister, and only at 38 years old from cervical cancer. And she fought it with everything in her. And I ain't give a damn about. I ain't gonna lie. I ain't give a damn about the risk because I saw the other side of it. But I'm happy to have that conversation now. You talk about you did not, okay, one, the woman who didn't want to, did she say why she didn't want to do a test? Like, I mean, who would,
I
I mean,
mean, it
that's a
was.
red flag. But
Oh,
what
of course it
excuse did
was.
she give? Because I'm curious.
I tend to use the phrase yellow flag, but that was definitely a red flag. Red flag means stop. So it
Okay.
was okay. We don't have nothing else to talk about here, because
Mm.
if that's your stance, and we don't, try and talk me out of it. I don't remember the specifics of the conversation. I kind of tuned out. It's like, okay, no, all right, next. So I'm not going to deal with that. So I don't. Yeah, we got to get tested.
Do you test every new partner that you like? I mean, are you testing before y'all have sex or after y'all have sex?
Is that a trick question? Yes, I test. I test all new partners. And how many do you think I have? First of all, so I test all new
I'm
partners,
just asking a question.
and I test before. Yes, yes, I test, and I get them tested. We exchange, and we look at test results. Yes, yes.
Okay. I mean, I will tell you, I will share. I don't mind sharing it all. Let me tell you, if we're talking about HIV tests, right? They sell them in Walgreens, CVS. They sell them right over the counter.
Oh,
If
they
you
do? I
ain't
didn't know
think,
that. I
yes,
didn't
they
know that.
do. If you don't
Oh,
think
okay.
I ain't swabbed some gums, yes, I did. How? Yep.
How
You can.
reliable
Whoop,
is
whoop.
that? How reliable is that? I
I'll,
know.
but see, here's the thing. I am a huge proponent of condoms, and the thing is,
Save me
I'm
$300. Go ahead.
no,
Go
they
ahead.
sell them in the store. They're like $60. I don't know if anyone has ever taken one of the ones over the counter. I think they're pretty reliable. We swabbed each other's gums. I have taken it a couple of times because I ain't playing. One thing about me, the sex ain't gonna be good. If I, because I'm already a hypochondriac, like, so just imagine having sex with me and my brain is going right. I'm worried. I'm my coochie gonna clamp up and she gonna be drier than the desert because I'm literally in panic mode. So no, I'm definitely wearing condoms. And the thing with herpes is, like, how you guys might be rolling around in the bed and the thing is just flopping around like this. He ain't covered yet. Y'all just getting and you're waiting to put a little cap on him as he enters the hole, right? But you can't with herpes. You can't do that. Like he touched this and he got that pre-cum coming out. Like this got herpes, that got herpes. Like the skin, it's rolling around, right? I mean, you gotta. Y'all know what I'm talking about. You gotta be protected with that because it's in. There's some men out here who have pre-cum, right? And it comes, and it's out, and if it's touching your skin, you got to protect it. So before you get to playing around and before y'all start rumbling and rolling around in the bed butt naked, don't let that thing touch you. Like, we be playing dodgeball up in there. Don't touch me with it
Why are
naked.
you getting
Like,
that far though? Why are you getting that far though,
be,
V? What?
because it's out. Did we not just say 50%, 48%? And that was an old number, hun.
No, I'm talking about
50%.
you talking about rolling around in the bed butt naked. Why did you get there without getting the test first?
Oh, no, that's why I can't do it. That's what I'm saying. That's why I can't do it, Dr. L. That's
Yo,
what I'm saying.
high def is killing me.
He said TV timeout. All I'm saying is, y'all, okay, so the viewer asked about, in particular herpes, right? And as we started to show with an old statistic, almost 50%, 48%. Now that number I'm sure has gone up. Black women have herpes. And I think the number I saw for black men was about 42%. So y'all ain't much lower, right?
Wow.
It's a high number,
Well, are they
right?
counting? Are they counting simplex one with that? I don't know. I mean, okay. Here's a quick question: Would you? Somebody told you they had simplex one, which is I'm. Somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, but that's mostly in the mouth and it's canker sores. Would you or cold sores, canker sores, whatever? Would you discount someone with that? Would discount them as in I can't mess with you because you have simplex one? Would you do that?
Me? I mean, is it on the lip,
Hypothetically.
crusted and shining?
Well,
Like,
no. They don't have an outbreak. They don't have outbreaks right now, and they're not having an outbreak. But they just told you, listen, I got simplex one. It's only in my mouth. And how would you deal with that?
honestly, I'm gonna tell you right now, I think it's very common. I think so. I'm not let me say this. Dr. L
Mhm.
and I are not medical doctors, right? We are not medical doctors. So I think that is common. I that's what I'm not. I ain't kissing nobody. Like, I mean, me. Okay, I'm gonna tell you this. Me personally, and this is V speaking personally. I don't have a single, and I did a whole video about me going to Malaysia and doing the medical tourism, right? And that was just in February. And I got tested for everything. I even did a bone scan. I know my bone density, of a stress test. I did all the blood work, herpes simplex 1, 2, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, like HIV, all of it, HPV. I did all of the blood work. And the only thing that came up for me was the doctor said I got too much fat around my stomach. She said, but this is in Asia. They all small, right? But she's like, oh, you're a little fat. You got a little fat here. And I said, okay, I need to lose about 10 pounds. That's fine, right? But if I already know that I have no STDs, Dr. L, me personally, I'm a pass. I have to be honest.
Okay. Okay.
Yep. That's I do respect, like, I do think there are ways to avoid getting, right. If you meet someone and they're great, they're perfect in every way, but they have herpes, and then you say, you know what, we just have to make sure that we wear condoms all the time. Is that on the table for you, or is that on the table for anybody watching? I mean, is that a hard no? Is that I'll consider it?
I'm not wearing condoms, so. I I just get tested. So I mean I just listen. I'm not advocating anybody else follow what I'm doing. I'm just telling you, it just don't work. My soldiers just don't salute. So I'm putting a lot of information out here, but I'm
Yes, you are.
just. I mean, protect yourself. Do what you got to do to protect yourself. It's just, it just don't work. It's so just don't work. I do have a question though about um there's a couple of guys watching. I want to know if the guys, to the same question you asked me, do they know guys who don't disclose or whatever? Is that a thing to the guys? Because that's a curious phenomenon to me. So
Well, let's see what the guys say. And Mimi of Mimi's Mocha Treats, I honestly don't know if you can go. If I don't know. Can you give we're not doctors and I ain't gonna act like I am, but can you, I guess, what if you have an open cold sore on the lip and then you taking them lips down to the other set of lips? I mean, can it transfer? I have no idea. I don't know.
yeah, I don't
I'm
know either. I do have a doctor we could, if we, I should have thought about having her calling her up, but I didn't.
Yes, you should have.
Yeah, I
Hmm.
should have. That's my fault.
Yes, you should.
I will text her. I will text her and see if she'll come on. Maybe we could do a follow up to this. So because this is a
Okay,
good
yeah.
conversation. Yeah.
Okay, that'd be great. Yeah, because I mean, we're not doctors. Sorry, Mimi. I have no idea, but I could tell you this. If I saw somebody with something up there, I mean, not only are they not getting near these lips, they ain't getting near them either. Like it's we're good. Like we're good. Um,
They're putting a bunch of red flags in here. Now Mocha's, who's on a Mocha's treat, says she had a friend who was she had a friend date a man for 10 years, no sex because they were waiting for marriage. In 10 years, that's got to be
and
a
he
red
was on
flag,
the
right?
and he
It's
was
got to be
on the down low.
a guy who doesn't want to do it. To me, I mean, you ladies correct me if I'm wrong. If the guy's not trying to get into your pants, is that not a red flag? Is that not a red flag?
Mm, hell yeah, it's a red flag. You remember Mimi? You met Mimi?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, me.
That's Mimi.
Religion claim.
Well,
I don't care what the claim is. I think people hide behind that. They're either hiding behind, religion to be down low, or they got really, a 1 inch wee wee, or it's just a red flag. I mean,
we but Anita says it most definitely can transfer from 1 to 2. She says it most definitely can. So if for anyone out there wondering, yeah. So yeah, then so then if it can go that way, then it can. I'm assuming it can go the other way as well. So you cannot put your mouth on everybody's private part. Like you can't go down on everybody. Like you have to be extremely selective. Um, Yes, it can. Hence, okay. Oral sex is sex. That is true.
not
And
according to Bill Clinton, right? Go ahead.
oh, Bill. Let's see. What did it say? Have you seen a commercial about HIV staying undetected? So testing may not show up where the condom. Yeah, absolutely. Look, I know Dr. L, you up in there. Well, now that I told you Walgreens and CVS, they sell the test. You can swab, but you should, go get a blood test. And the thing is, the blood
That's
test,
what I'm asking. How? Listen, I don't know, but some of those saliva tests are not accurate, right? They're not as accurate, right? I think the blood tests are just more. But again, we need to talk to somebody more
mhm,
knowledgeable. So go ahead. I'm
yeah.
sorry to cut you off. I'm
Oh,
sorry.
no, no, nothing, nothing. No, you should get the blood test though. You should absolutely but the thing about the blood test is somebody could have had sex 2 weeks before, the blood test, and that's not going to show up in the blood test. You do need some time for it to show up. So
Will it show
y'all
up
are
in the
going to,
sabiliva test though? How? I
no,
mean,
I know
your body has
it's
to build
not,
up the antibodies, right? I mean,
yeah, it hasn't built up enough antibodies for it to
yeah.
show up. That's why you got to wear, me personally, condoms until until we know we clean, like at least the first quarter. That's the corporate America, V, for the
I was
first
gonna,
quarter.
I was gonna say we got to do quarterly analysis and whatnot.
That's a Q1. Yes, we have to wear condoms, period. I'm that's me. Let's see. I want to, what did Solomon say? Men in church are going to try to have sex with the quick. Do you mean with just any old body?
Probably
You know,
because they're being abstinent, right? So they get somebody, they're gonna want to jump into bed. That's what I'm saying. If they don't do that, I mean, I think you should tell them no, obviously, but Jesus, then obviously you should tell him no, but he's gonna try, and if he's not trying, there's something wrong with him. I've always been of that philosophy that if a guy's not trying to do it, there's something wrong with him. Whether he's got a disease, he's gay, or he's got the 1 inch wee wee, as was on the.
or it's limp.
Oh,
It's
okay, yeah, okay, yeah.
that could definitely be it. We've seen that before. And I
I don't
think,
know who we is, but go ahead, go ahead.
I mean, not me and you. Okay. Not us. I'm just saying that I have, done the shows about it, but, and I know sometimes, like, you can get, your mind, like if you're coming to bed and you're already stressed, you're already concerned that he's not going to perform. So that added stress is going to cause him to really not perform. And that's why I feel like it's so important to get to know your partner, so you get to know them more than just on a sexual level, because then people who, genuinely get to know you, like you, and you have the conversations up front, they're going to be more apt to, because they know, like, they already like you because they've gotten to know you, and maybe some of this stuff will keep people from going out here and having random sex, right? We too old. First of all, we too damn old. I mean, you are, Dr. L, but not me. Like, you too old to be out here and, just going out here having random sex. Like, at some point, we're gonna have to. I got to color my
I
gray
mean,
hair.
you
Don't you
making it
tell
seem
my
like I'm
age.
just out here just sticking and moving and whatnot, man. Come on now, come on.
I know you not. I know you not. But there's a lot of people out here that still, and I understand. I feel like sex is part of the whole interview process, right? I want to get to know you, and eventually we're gonna have to have sex, because if the sex is terrible, it's trash. I don't. I'm sorry. I don't care how much I like you. I'm pew. That's not. I'm being honest.
Tell us about the interview process. I mean, how would you bring that up? And somebody else in the chat can do that too. But what would the interview process be?
Well, I will tell you, and I had the conversation with she's a marriage therapist, a licensed therapist, and she's a sex therapist,
Mm.
right? And we talked about that on my show, where sex, like, it should be very much so a part of I mean, it's part of the interview, right? Getting to know somebody. I would bake it into the conversation. I would ask, but not like, because I feel like there are some questions. You know how you on dating apps and the people are like, so what's your favorite position? You like it from the back. Like, that's not the interview. Those are just ignorant questions where, you could tell somebody is just looking for sex, right? You cease those conversations and you just swipe left and you block them and you move on about your day. But as we go out, maybe date number 2, I'm not going to ask this in the app, but I'm gonna say maybe date number 2 or date number 3, I need to know, like, do you, my daddy probably watching this, so Dr. L, don't
Listen,
get
you
me in
you
trouble.
you, you the stuff you said already. Now you worried about that?
Can't stand you.
Jeez.
Okay. Okay, so I would ask questions like, I mean, do you use your mouth at all besides talking?
Oh man, I
Because
wasn't asking that. Hold on, let me pause here for a second. I was asking about the vetting process, about
no, but that is a
how you
vetting
bring.
process. That is a vetting that was definitely a
I was
vetting,
talking about
because
screening for STDs, but go
oh,
ahead.
well, okay, but when I was talking about using sex, like, yeah, then we get down to the STDs. But I need to know. I'm a disqualify you if you don't, because I was married 12 years. And when I tell you he just didn't do certain things, I mean, I had to, me in the shower head was like this, like, because he just didn't do certain. You're going to get me in trouble, Dr. L. And I'm gonna have to remove you from the stage on the show. Look, High Def said pause. Okay, so no, so those are qualifying questions. Like, do you need to do it 3 times a week? Do you have to do it every day, twice a day, right? Because if you already know you're not aligned, don't waste your time. Don't even waste your time, right? And then once you find out that you guys are aligned, you need to have the STD conversations. I need to see I need to see your paperwork, and it needs to be within the last 3 months. 1, 2, 3.
Okay, well, I think I'm a little bit better with that. I need it to be done immediately. I need to see it. That date stamp need to be yesterday or today.
That's because you're not rocking with the condoms. I'm rocking with the condoms. I go
Oh,
to the store and buy it. That's because I'm rocking with the condoms. Like,
all right.
you said you're not rocking with them. So yeah, your first date need to be at the damn clinic.
Oh, come on. Come on. Come on.
I'm just That's
Come
where
on.
y'all talk about taking us to swimming so our makeup can fall off and we can remove our hair pieces. Hell, that's not where you need to be, boo. Nope. So let's see. We need to have at least 3 conversations about sex, and disclosure is one of those conversations. Absolutely.
What
I
are the other
firmly
two
believe that.
conversations, Anita? What are the other two conversations? And she also put something up here about
Okay, let me go back and find
you
it, boo.
must vet for emotional maturity. You definitely can't be running around here telling everybody, And the lady who did tell me, I didn't freak out or anything like that. We had a nice conversation, and I let her down very nicely.
Mm.
But yeah, but she's right about that. You gotta be emotionally mature about it. Somebody's you know interested in you, and they're being vulnerable. So that is not the time to cringe, laugh in their face, or take any other negative emotions, or show disgust or whatever. So yeah, yeah.
No, you're right. Like, we have to be mature about it. It takes a lot for somebody to come out and say that, they have XYZ. That's why I really feel like y'all, we got to take the time to get to know people. And I'm big in, like, I know some people have asked me before, like, well, what is catch flights and feelings, if somebody has seen, that on my logo or when I talk about it. Catch flights and feelings I feel like the best way to get to know somebody is on a damn trip. We going on a trip. You like, if you really want to go, want to learn somebody, I'm telling you, you can learn a lot about somebody if you pack a bag. It could be a weekend getaway. It could be a week getaway. I've taken 3-week vacations. I had my 4th date in my last relationship. We went, on a safari in Tanzania, right? And so I really feel like you can have, because you're only going to get to know somebody through situations. I can go to dinner with you all day, every day, right, Dr. L? We can go to dinner, boo, right? And I'm going to tell you what I want you to know. You're not going to know how I act. Like, you go on an interview, and y'all know y'all be lying on them job interviews because they ask you, what would you do if, and you be like, well, I'm a team player and I believe in working late. No, and damn well you lying. Like, and it's the same on the date. You're still having conversations. You don't know what I'm going to do until you see me do it.
Yeah, yeah. There was a good question here about kissing, and I run into Rising Phoenix put that on there. And I definitely have run into ladies who didn't like kissing, and that was definitely a red flag for me. Well, a yellow flag. I'm like, What's up with that?" So yeah,
Why though?
I've run into that. I run into that
Why? Why is it why? Because why is it a yellow flag? Because some people see kissing as
because I'm
very
thinking they might
intimate.
have something that might be transferable. Why would you not like doing it?
Because some people feel like kissing is very intimate and they
Well,
don't want.
I'm not talking about a first or second or third date. I'm talking about you trying to get into this, and
Mhm.
somehow the conversation comes up, or maybe, yeah, okay. These are some of the questions, just random questions, oh, that these are random questions that I've had, or just random conversations. I can't tell you how I bring it up, but I just bring it
Mhm.
up, and they're like, "Oh, I don't really like kissing and this," and I'm like, "You don't? Wow." huh, that's interesting. Why not? So it's just never something I never really got into or whatever. And you're 40 years old? Nah, something ain't right about that.
Well,
That's the way I think. That's the way I think.
well, I could tell you, according to the Gottmans, and the Gottmans are a couple. They're known to be the experts in relationships, right? They're a married couple, and they have, I guess, spent their entire adult lives studying and analyzing relationships. And one thing, because I'm in their course, and one thing they say is that the biggest, I guess, what is the biggest hint or clue about if the sex is going to be good or not is kissing, how they kiss, how you guys kiss, if the sex is going to be good or not. Like, because you wouldn't kiss
Yeah,
anybody you
I've
don't
heard that.
like.
I've heard that. Yeah, yeah, I've heard that. I've heard that.
Hmm.
Yeah, if you can passionately kiss and all that, they think that it's going to transfer to
The
there.
sex, yeah, is
Yeah,
going to be good. Now,
yeah.
Miss T got a question for you. So, yeah, I want
Why
to
you got to
know
read?
too.
Why you got to read that question? I don't understand that.
I mean, because it was right there, and I mean, it's right under the rising phoenix, and then there's Miss T. I mean, she got a question. Now let's answer her question, boo.
Listen, I'm not footloose and fancy free. I try to be discerning. And yeah, I just first of all, the condoms just don't work for me. And if you want things to work, it's just not gonna. And I've tried. People, insisted on it. Put okay. I'm telling you, it don't work, and then it just don't work. So, but I am discerning, and I talk about taking tests. I do take tests, and I am absolutely free. I mean, I didn't think to upload them up here, but 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 I am absolutely 100% healthy. So, but this isn't to denigrate anyone who does have something going on. We know some 48% of ladies do, or whatever that number is, and so I'm not trying to denigrate anyone else. But I am careful about what I'm doing and who I'm doing it with. So yeah.
Okay. Okay. All right. Garrett said, for a first date, that's about as bad as bringing an itinerary or resume to dinner. Maybe not the first date, Garrett. I
I think
think
we
you're
should
talking.
start doing that. I think we should
What?
start doing that. Seriously. I mean, people got these requirements, money requirements, and want to know about your bank account, how much money you got, and what's your credit score, how much financial debt you're in. Let's just start bringing resumes and stuff, and resumes and surveys and checklists and stuff. Let's just start doing that, right?
I think we should, one thing I think that should be on that damn resume is a review from your last three partners. Like, I want them to write a review. What was their,
No.
cause yeah. What was the concern they had about you? Cause I'm telling you right now, I know I'm not the type of person, cause women don't be like this, and men either. You think you get with somebody new and then you're like, oh, they're great. And you know that they had a relationship before you, right? We all come with a past. We all have had relationships.
What if
You think
what if your past exes just completely dog you out? I mean, they're ex for a reason, right?
no, I don't. I'm gonna tell you right now. None of my relationships ended like some big powwow. I know some people have that, but even my marriage, I would say, didn't. I mean, we were laughing and smiling in court, right? We went and took a vacation after we were in front of the judge. I didn't have any bad, oh, F you, and I mean, I may have done a couple of things, but I may have threw his stuff out, when I caught him cheating in the hotel. But even then, so I still didn't end the relationship on that marriage on no big powwow. That's just not how I am. So yes, I would want to. So I would want to see your review now. But like I was about to say is that don't always think like, oh, I know it was the other person. This person I got, he is wonderful. I know it had to be her, especially if he's telling you all his relationships, it was somebody else's fault. It was never his fault. Bullshit. That's a red flag. I ain't got no red flag. I'm gonna start keeping a red flag at my desk. Red flag, red flag. Like if somebody always says it didn't work because of XYZ, XYZ, it ain't never because of me. Y'all run. I have had to learn that the hard way. Like just run. It's always relationships end based on two people, not usually one person is gonna carry the load. So yeah, I think you bring your last. I want to see your resume, Doctor. I want to see a review. I want them to write a review of you. I want a reference. I want a reference from your last two relationships, right? And I'll bring you mine.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll work on it. It sends out some emails and all this, and I'll get that going.
Do it. I'll do a survey monkey. Yep, we're gonna send it
Survey
out.
monkey. Survey monkey.
Sassy red cutie said, "Hey everyone, hello." Let's see. Oh, okay, I'm done with you, V. Our first date is at the clinic. Yep, I'm telling you. I see. That's what Dr. L. Mm-hmm. You should
Listen,
just
why
go
you?
on and get it. I'm just saying you should get like a special account there. You should just say, you know what, I got a new woman, and you should be on first name basis with the front desk staff.
What makes you
That's
think
all
I
I'm saying.
don't? What makes you think I don't have that?
I'm just saying. Okay. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, Garrett said correlation with dance. I love a man that can dance. I
Yeah.
do. I do. Can you dance, Dr. L?
No, I have to practice. I have to practice.
Practice.
Yeah,
You
I'm
have to
not.
practice finding the beat.
Yeah, yeah. I am. Listen, I am not just the stereotypical black man. So yeah, I'm sorry.
Oh,
I can kiss though. I can kiss really well.
oh.
I can kiss really well.
Mimi and I talked about that's got to be on our list. Like you got to be able to dance, Dr. L. I'm disappointed, y'all. Ladies, he gonna step on all your feet. Let's see.
All of them. How many you got?
I got 4. Let's see. Could no kissing be due to more perform oral? You talking about because they not kissing the lips? They just
I don't know what you
I'm
mean
a,
by that. Rephrase that, Miles. I'm not sure what you.
and I ain't gonna I'm trying to not go X-rated here. Dan Stone, yes, I'm with you guys. Let's get tested. For me, when asked for an STD test, I would want one ASAP. Yeah, the problem with condoms is they slip or they break. A person should get dental a dental diaphragm. What's a dental diaphragm? Is that a
I don't know what
is
that.
that a female condom? What's a dental diaphragm? Dan Stone seems to know a little bit about this stuff. Because I don't know.
You mean dental? You mean the what's the? It goes inside the woman, right? Is that's some kind of I think they're using
I'm
the
not
wrong word
look.
there.
I'm not
Yeah.
a doctor, so I
There's some
don't
kind
know
of
that.
sponge that they can stick in a woman that'll absorb stuff, right? I'm
Yeah,
not.
but that ain't protected from no STD.
Yeah. Well, I agree with that. I mean, I don't know.
That's just catching the semen, the sperm. That's preventing, from us getting pregnant. And I'm postmenopausal, so my eggs done disappeared. So I'm not worried about getting pregnant. I'm worried about my coochie staying nice and clean. Oh, let's see. Oh, October 3074. There's
They,
another question for you, Dr. L. What you mean condoms don't
she
work
must have
for
just
you?
got here. She must have just got. They just don't work. I can't. Listen, we're gonna try. I can't perform. I mean, I just, man, I'm putting you guys
He
putting
like, look, I don't know
my
how else
whole
to say.
business on the street here. It just don't work, right? It just my soldier just stops saluting. I mean, what do you want me to say? I mean,
Okay, but like you said, and you having okay. So let's ask you, Dr. L. Then, how are you having the conversations? You meet a young lady, or an old lady, like you meet you meet a lady, and and how do you because you got to bring up the conversation because a lot of women ain't gonna I just said that I wouldn't be okay with it, right? So you got to bring up the conversation about, hey, I don't wear condoms. So would they say, hey, you want to meet at Starbucks, and you say, no, I got another address for you, and
it's
it's
silly. Come on. It's silly.
no.
Here, I'm gonna
I'm like,
GPS you this thing here. We're gonna meet over here. Make sure you wear nice short sleeves. That way you don't gotta roll them all the way up. drink plenty of liquids before you get there, so you don't want to be dehydrated. So
you want them to be able to find your vein. Don't be having I'm just saying, how do you we are not trying to make light of the situation, but for some reason Dr. L and I just get together and we laugh. So then I'm serious. How do you ask somebody, like, how do you bring it up? Because you're gonna have to be the one to bring it up that, hey, I don't me and my soldier don't like the raincoats. Right? I feel like you got to bring it up.
So yeah, I bring it up. Listen, I don't know how. I mean, I just kind of bring it up. Obviously the conversation will come up. Anita said that you got to have three conversations. I bring it up somehow, and I just tell them, listen, it's, you know, I recognize that people want you to wear them and all this, but it just don't work for me. And they, you know, it kind of be the side eye while this guy's trying to game me and stuff. But listen, I'll go down and take a test. I got no issue with taking a test. And if that's not good enough, and then, you know, usually the conversation comes up of, okay, well, what about pregnancies, whatever. I'm like, listen, I got snipped. I'm snipped, and you know, so I'm not worried about pregnancies, and I'm not, and yeah, and so that's just how I bring it up. And I've never had anyone who said, you know, has never gone for it. And I'm very honest. I'll go on and take a test, show it to you. I have the most recent test on my phone, so I can show it to them, and I'll go take another one. So
Oh. Now, because of that, because I know a lot of times men might go out here, you know, and have one night stands. I mean, I don't know. Are we still having one night stands at 50 years old? I guess so,
yeah, they're
right?
happening. Yeah, they're happening.
Okay. So people, okay. So then that means, I feel like that means you can't have one night stands, right? That because how would that, if let's just say a fictional character, let's just call him, you know, Dr. M, and let's say a fictional character doesn't like to wear condoms, right? Can he have one
He,
night stands?
he
Because how does
could.
that work?
He could. You'd be surprised. A lot of ladies don't bring it up. A lot of ladies don't bring it up.
That's just hold on.
Yeah, I'm dead serious. I've had a lot of ladies that not bring it up until I bring it up. So these
So that
conversations that we're having right now, I mean, I think that we're having, you know, a very responsible conversation. But there's a reason why these numbers are so high. And I've run
mhm.
into ladies. I've talked to ladies and all that, and they never bring it up.
Well, I think that's, well, ladies, I mean, you know, I don't know what to say to that. So if clearly I'm over here stuttering and shit, you know. So, so I mean, ladies, I mean, are we not bringing it up? And if so, I mean, can I ask why? Like, why would you not bring it up? I mean, is it? I'm very curious. I don't even want to make like I'm pretty sure no lady listening here, you know, because they on here because we're having a candid conversation about, you know, STDs and protecting ourselves, and not only that, but like, you know, as we get into relationships, the odds are, I mean, 48% of Black women have, you know, genital herpes, and that's where the question originated from. A subscriber reached out to me and say, hey, I have genital herpes, and I'm worried about getting into, you know, a new relationship. So it seems like it is actually not uncommon at all. So a Black man, if or a Black woman, I mean, if you are a Black man wanting to date a Black woman, you have a 1 in 2 chance of coming across a Black woman who has herpes, right? And Black women, if we're dating only Black men, then we have pretty much a 1 in 3 chance of
So
coming across.
so what I wanted to say, there was I think a lot of people, are um trusting in the medications. And I say that because I think a lot of people are really only kind of fearful of HIV, and they probably think if I just pull out, and a lot of guys aren't. I do know a lot of guys aren't fearful of HIV because of its transmission, right? So it's harder for the guy to get it from a woman, right? Versus her transferring it, right? It's harder for the woman to transfer it to you than the guy to the woman. So I think that a lot of people are very um they just trust in the medications. Well, if it's just syphilis, just gonorrhea, just go down and, you know, get a shot, or, you know, take this for 10 days or whatever. And I think there's a lot of that going on, and people are just not, you know, even herpes that we're talking about, right? It's not a death sentence, right? You know, it's and I don't know that much about it. I do know some people who've had it on their mouth. I don't know if it's transfer. We've said in the comment section. I don't know, again, if it's transferable to the, you know, to the nether regions. But I think that a lot of people just say, okay, it's just an outbreak, and if I'm not stressed out, I won't get an outbreak. I know people who think like that. And so, you know, if I got an outbreak, a cold sore, whatever, I just take a week off, and then once it's cleared up, I just go back to what I'm doing. So I think that a lot of people are kind of operating that way. And I don't have any data about that. I'm just saying, how do we get these numbers unless people are just now out here just willy-nilly just doing what they're doing, So
Okay, well, with these numbers, I would love to know, those who are watching, and maybe if you could leave a comment, is it a deal breaker for you? Like, is it a deal breaker for you? I've voiced mine. My preference is I'd like to be aligned with somebody, who doesn't have anything, right? But you know what? I can't. I guess it's, I think things might be situational. Um, so I can't, so I'm not even gonna say that. I think things I could be open minded, but it would have to be a real serious, honest conversation. But is it a deal breaker for anybody out here if you're coming across, you meet someone? First of all, y'all even having the conversations? Do y'all even have the conversations? Women, are you having the conversations with men? And I hope you are, because we are, to your point, Dr. L, we are the receivers of the energy, right? When a man is releasing his energy, he's releasing it inside of our pockets, right? And it's receiving it. And so therefore, yes, you have a higher chance of receiving the STDs that come along with that as well. So women, are you guys bringing it up? Let's see.
I'm going to tell you a lot of times, ladies have not brought it up. A lot of times, a lot. Well, let me not put it out there like that, but I one or two.
Yeah. I mean, no, don't take it back now. A lot. You said a lot. But Anita said, yeah, and I'm with Anita, right? It's situational. And yeah, I think we got to have a lot of honest conversation. Like and I mean, honest, like, I don't know. Let's see. Rune Belly said, yes, it's a deal breaker. And that's why we're going to the doctor. We're definitely having a conversation. Well, good. I'm glad that she's having a conversation. And Nita said, go ahead, boo.
No, I just want to ask, what I've said so far. I'd like to know, honestly, from the ladies, have what I said, and if you ran into a man who said exactly what I said, would that turn you off? I'm just kind of curious. Not that I'm going to take it back. Everything I just said, forget it. Just curious. Just curious.
You want me to backspace?
Get backspace.
He said, look, if y'all not okay with what I said, Vee deleted, but I mean, I don't know. Let's see. Ebony Moore said, I absolutely had that conversation with my now newlywed husband. Every time she come on here, she got to tell everybody she just got married. Bitch, we know you got married just now. Okay. Wow. I was her maid of honor.
Oh, okay. Congratulations to you, Ebony. Rising Phoenix, you're the nurse. Do you have any numbers for us? Can you verify anything we talked about thus far tonight? I'm texting this doctor right now, see if we can.
Okay. Yeah. Rising Phoenix. Yes. If she's, yeah, absolutely. Okay. Rising Phoenix said, congrats to Ebony. Yes. She had a beautiful wedding. I'm going to tell you, we were freezing. All the bridesmaids. She had 8 of us out there in the water, freezing our butts off. Okay. At her daggone wedding. So, let's see what numbers. She said, what numbers? Rising Phoenix said, what numbers do you need?
If you have any, trend rates about how many Black women have any type of diseases or any type of diseases, STDs, we said 46% or whatever we said. Is that number accurate? How many men have it? How many people do you know any surveys or anything like that? How many people are using condoms? How many people are bringing up these conversations? Do you have any of that type of information?
Okay, we're gonna wait to Miss Rising Phoenix get that information together. And I mean, it is a fact, though, the numbers are much higher in the Black community. That is a fact that we cannot dispute. And I know a lot of that comes from history, right? We have a lot of Black people not trusting medical care, right? We know that they intentionally gave Black men, what was that, syphilis. Right. So we know that there's a long history of the Black community not trusting the healthcare in this country. So I understand that. But my question would be, at what point do we just, I guess forget that, not to say forget that it happened, but you got to look at the health of yourself. You can't go around here and, oh, I don't want to know what I got. Like that's not the answer either. No, that's not the answer. Just to ignore it and it'll go away. It ain't going no damn where. Right? You know, either you're gonna have to get a shot of something, or you're gonna have, yes. And with HIV, it is no longer a death sentence, right? They have said that repeatedly. It is no longer a death sentence, but you have to get on the meds. So let's see what
Did you answer this? Would you I think you asked this. Is it a no-go for you? I don't mean how many, I guess I should say, how many ladies would that be a no-go for if someone
oh,
told you
let's
to take?
see. Let's see. I'm gonna scroll on up, see if anybody answered that question. Would Oh, Sunny Days said, for me, it's situational too. Depends on what it is. Okay. Um, Let me see if any woman wants to be honest and answer his question. Like, would it be like, hey, you meet Dr. L with his sexy beard, right? Looking like Papa Smurf over there. And he educated too, girl. He got a doctor's degree. This man is educated, right? Can have a great conversation. Y'all on date number, when we talking about this, boo? Date number 1 and date number 2.
Uh, the
I'm bringing up,
conversation?
yeah, I'm bringing up date
Conversation?
number 1.
Yeah, okay. I'm good with I'm good with it. Date number 1, date
Okay.
number 2, 1 or 2, what, it don't matter. I ain't scared of the
Okay.
conversation.
Okay, I'm glad you're not. So we are y'all on date number 1, y'all, and y'all bringing it up. You know, hey,
Pass the salt over there. And by the way, do you use condoms?
by the way, you're like Dr. L. You got nice lips over there with a nice beard. I wonder what it's like to sit on your face, like something like that, and then the conversation starts, right, and then he comes out, ladies, and say,
It's only one way
I
to
don't.
find out.
That's not your ass. And he comes out and say, well, you know what? I don't, I don't believe in raincoat. I like to play in the rain. Like, what is that a no for y'all? I'm way behind on comments. I'm scrolling. I mean, Mimi said deal breaker. She said nope. It's okay. Garrett said it's better if the woman breaks the ice and brings it up. Garrett, if a woman brings it up, are you open to having a conversation?
See, I went to, that's a whole nother conversation about, us as guys, man, we've fallen so far back. And I hear what Garrett is saying, because if we bring it up, then we sound like creeps and we just want to get in your pants. But now you've got it. Now we got this whole role reversal thing going on where guys aren't being macho, and that's a whole nother conversation. But go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, let me just address the October. I saw. Hold on. Why is my mouse not moving? Uh, yes, we call each other that. I just want to say that. And we mean it in love. I have been very blessed. I talk about this on my show. I have 3 best friends, and I am very, very blessed. We have been friends. Mimi has known for 40 years. For 40 years. Okay. So what a blessing. And I'm very grateful. And yes, we call each other that, dang it. It's all in love. Okay. And October, you say my ex-boyfriend mother had been living with HIV since 1991. Is she still living? See, it's no longer a death sentence, and that's why I think people aren't taking it seriously. But
Yeah.
just because it's not a death sentence to you doesn't mean that you shouldn't share with the other people. Like, nobody wants, people should have a choice. You know what I'm saying? You're taking away people's choices when you're not being honest. Okay. And you can't do that, y'all. You can't do that. You can't be God. You can't be playing God in people's lives. And that's just not fair. Okay. Dr. L, if you're snipped, but, I'm going to let you read that. If you're snipped with lots of different women, are you with a lot of different women? You're a
Yeah, you guys
risk.
are making this assumption. I never said that. I never said that.
Like I mentioned, HIV is undetectable now. You have to get to know a person. I'm with you. You got to get to know somebody.
Oh yeah, listen, I'm not playing Russian roulette. I mean, I'm careful. We have conversations, we talk, we take tests, we do what we got to do. And
Okay.
listen, I hear it. I hear, and some people have said in here, it's a no, it's a no, it's a no.
Yeah,
I'm
Nita
telling you,
said it's a no.
I'm
Mm-hmm.
telling you, every woman that I've talked to has been like, okay, well, it's fine. So, but
Okay.
listen,
October, she said the
and I
same
take that,
thing.
and I take tests. I take tests just to take them. So I'm not trying to put somebody in this position. I don't want to be in this position. So And again, I'm clean. So maybe
Okay, we
maybe I'll
believe
put my
you.
results up.
Neg- yeah, maybe we need to share the screen. Okay. Garrett said he would if somebody brought up the conversation. I'm glad you would. It's a red flag. If somebody's not, okay, I bought the over the counter test twice, right? And the two times, that person did take the test. Now this was I don't know, it's probably about 8 years ago. He took the test. He didn't hesitate, and if he did hesitate, then I'd have been like, never mind, I'd have just withdrew all, everything and I would have just said, this ain't, because that's a red flag. What do you know,
This episode is going to go viral for some crazy reason. So Rising Phoenix, do you know any? I know you're looking up some stuff right now. If you're still listening, what does this undetectable mean? I mean, can you get a test from CVS? Can you detect it then? Can you if you get a blood test? What does that mean to be undetectable? I don't know what that means. So if you can answer that for us. I texted this doctor. She hasn't texted me back yet, but I haven't talked to her in like 4 or 5 years, so she might not. She
four
might
or
change
five
numbers.
years.
Listen, I hadn't talked to her. She was on my podcast 4 or 5 years ago, so I haven't had her on in a long time. I still have the number in the phone, but she might have changed numbers. I don't know.
Yeah, I see. You ain't talked to her in 4 or 5 years, then they talk about, hey, can we talk about HIV? I wouldn't answer your ass.
That wasn't the question I asked her, V.
Oh, okay. I'm like, I'd be like, let me block him. Dan Stone said, I love oral sex all day. Okay, Dan. Okay. He said, that's why I get that diaphragm. It's like saran wrap. So it's just like you just licking on a saran wrap like that. Can she feel anything? I mean, ladies, have you ever had that experience?
Listen, man.
Can you feel anything?
I don't think you can feel anything. I think it's the same sensation, right? It's nothing. Listen,
I mean,
I'm not trying to discourage people from. I'm really
no,
not.
No, we're not. No, we rock condoms.
You do what's best for you, but I've never been with a woman who's used the diaphragm or whatever that is. I just know me, and I tried numerous times, and there was a comment up above that said, it's in my head. It's wherever it's at, but I just know it's not working. So it's just not working. And I tried a lot of times.
Okay. October says she want me to use another word like bunny. Okay, bunny girl. Garrett L. Spot on. It's perception. Yes, we should be more aggressive, take more risks, etc. But when it comes to that, better safe than sorry. If chemistry is good, better reception potential. Okay. Let's see. Virus count. Let's see. Virus count is low. I guess this is what undetectable means. Virus count is low, but it does not mean you do not have the antibodies.
I guess what we're asking, if you go to the CVS, you plan on getting hot and heavy this night. You go to CVS, you take the test or whatever that takes. How long does it take for it to show up? Is it like a 10-minute thing? You got to wait, like a pee test or whatever. How long does that take?
Oh, well, the test, I could tell you. I took the test on
I mean, oh, I'm asking.
But you're asking, you want.
I'm just asking. If you go take the test, will you be able to tell is it going to tell you if somebody has the disease? I mean, what do we mean when we're saying undetectable? That's what I'm saying.
Oh, well, I think these are two different questions. So I think Mimi, I think she posted the accuracy of the over-the-counter test, and I think was it 91% accurate?
It was 97.1%.
Oh, 97.1%. Okay. So which is, I mean, it's better than playing Russian roulette.
Is that not detectable? I'm getting confused with the.
Okay, so you're saying now, but detectable. I would think that if you're not detectable, the test, I guess the test over the counter, and I don't know what the blood test. What does it show?
91.7. I'm sorry, 91.7.
91.7. Okay. So then what does the blood test show? Does it show that person is negative?
But isn't that what the HIV test shows? Negative or positive? It's a negative or positive test, right?
We're gonna have to scroll on down looking for. I'm trying.
Well,
you can get fake results with over the counter. She said yes, you can get fake results with over the counter. Oh, and Shonda says HIV undetected in bloodstream can still test positive in hair strands and other samples. The best way to test HIV is Western blot and antibodies testing.
HIV is undetected in the bloodstream, but then the best way to test it is within the Western blood.
Is that the Western blood clot something test, something like that? It's called dental dam, not diaphragm. Sonny said it's called a dental dam. Diaphragm is, yeah, diaphragm is that thing that you insert into the vagina. I don't even know if people use diaphragms anymore, you know. Let's see. Shonda said, as a healthcare provider, the misinformation around STIs, STDs, herpes, syphilis, and HIV numbers are increasing because of reckless, non-vigilant behavior. So then you've heard a lot of women on here say that they would not be good. One, I just want to say I'm proud of you women for, you know, yes, we have to protect ourselves because you know what? We Black women have the highest rates of all the STDs. We have the highest rates when it comes to HIV. Again, we already talked about men being on the down low, not being honest with us. They want to go out here and play with their swords and all this other stuff. And it's like, y'all, we got to pay attention. We got to pay attention to what our men are doing. And I'm not saying follow his ass when you leave the house. I'm not saying be detective, but y'all, we have that intuition for a reason. I believe in feeling and believing your gut. If your gut is telling you something ain't right, y'all, something ain't right. Period. Always believe your intuition because we got to protect ourselves. We are leading in the numbers for herpes. And I looked it up. Syphilis, HIV, all of it. And it's like, well, God damn. Damn. So what's going on in our community that we just not, Western blot. I said blot, bomber clot, but it was a blot test. But no, what is going on in our community, right? That we got to do better, Dr. L.
Listen, I'm in agreement with that. I'm not trying to discourage anybody from doing, and doing the right thing. Absolutely. What are some of the red flags or tingly spine sensations or woman's intuition that you think that your man is either on the down low or he's cheating on you? What would be some of those things? Can you tell us? Or again, a lot of ladies are putting up here that this is a download phenomenon here. So
well, until they comment, I could sit here and tell you, I feel like if a man takes a lot of trips with his male friends, they go on guy trips. If a man goes on more guy trips than a girl goes on girl trips, I feel like it's a red flag. I feel like it's a red flag. That's definitely my opinion, because why would you want to be on the beach? You're going on a beach vacation with men, either you cheating, you getting the coochie that's out there, or you getting the dick that you brought on the trip. Oops, I forgot I'm on YouTube. Oops, you getting the penis that you brought on the trip with you. Like, I just feel like it's a red flag. And I'm gonna tell you, I'm the one that caught her husband in a hotel with another woman, his so-called best friend, right, that we talked about. And I'm not the type to be like, so where you going? What you doing? I missed a whole lot of red flags because I'm not that type of person that just hovers over somebody. I believe in having faith in you and you doing the right thing. But then I analyzed it. Like, what were some of those red flags? Right? Because I was like, God damn, I missed a whole lot. They were taking vacations together. Like, I missed a lot.
Oh, that's definitely a red flag. Come on now. That's
I didn't know she
landed an airplane on an aircraft carrier.
No, I know that she wasn't supposed to be on vacation. I had just started a job and I couldn't go to the family wedding, right? And he told me he was going by himself, right? One red flag was he switched hotels, and even then, I was like, oh, he gonna stay at another hotel. Y'all, it still didn't hit me. He was staying in another hotel to get away from the family because he didn't want, them to see that he didn't bring me, his wife, to the wedding, right? So, it's red flags, and I think sometimes we try to see the good in somebody, we just miss them. So, Let's see, passport bros. I agree. Passport bros, and there's some passport hoes. Let's see. Always believe intuition. There's too many single mothers for that to be true. Sometimes a feeling is just a feeling. Well, Garrett, I'm not gonna touch that one today, boo. But you come on back when we talk about the passport bros conversation. Let's see. No man will go on a trip with another dude. Hey, there. I'm gonna tell you, Dan Stone. I'm gonna tell you, there are men out here that go on guys trips, and I'm with you. I'm with you. Okay, but there are men out here that go on guy trips. That's all I'm gonna say. Okay, sunny days, condoms. Unfortunately, a lot, not all men cannot be trusted. Not all. She said not all. Okay, hypersexuality and selfishness continue to win. Mm. Okay. Ebony says if a man rather hang with his boys all the time, he's DL. If he shows signs of major disrespect to women, he probably prefers to be with men. Mm. Hmm. Yeah, I let that word slip out, Lynn. I'm gonna have to edit that word out. Let's see. Shauna said, men having sex with men. Oh, it's okay. It's MSM. Did you know there was a acronym? It's a damn acronym for it, Dr. L. Did you know that?
I did not know that because I'm not one of those people. So
I didn't.
you're
I
you're
didn't.
not you're not gonna paint me with this brush tonight. I know you're
I'm
trying.
not. I'm not. I know.
You're
I'm just.
not gonna
We
paint me.
having an educated conversation. Me and you. We are having it. I never. I didn't know it was an acronym for it. Women
I
being
didn't know that either.
dishonest about sleeping with multiple partners. Okay. And folks aren't getting tested and going back. Oh damn, they getting tested and not even going back to get the damn results. What the point is? What's the point of going to get a test? So Dr. L, your second date has to be back at the clinic to get the results. You you can't leave them on a cliffhanger. Like you gotta go back and get the damn results. Mm-hmm.
Women being dishonest about sleeping with multiple partners and folks aren't getting tested. So the women are also being dishonest, if I'm reading that right. Women
Yeah,
also being
women cheating
dishonest.
too.
Yeah.
Women in the streets too. Mm-hmm.
I
Yep.
just I was just what before we you and I jumped on, I was listening to another podcast, and this guy was talking about one of the African countries, New Guinea or something like that. There's their
Is New
paternal.
Guinea in is New Guinea an African country? Is it?
I don't know. It was some place in Africa. I don't know. I don't. It may not be in New Guinea. Maybe I'm misspeaking, but it was some country. I got to listen to it again. But some country was, um, I guess their paternity fraud rate was at 70%. So now they're trying to institute DNA testing at birth, and China is also trying to do it as well because of the ladies not being honest about who the father is, who the baby daddy is. So yeah. So these people are
Okay.
other people are shooting up the club, and then you think it's you. So
Look, I'm not gonna sit here and act like women are perfect because women we are not perfect either. So yes, yes, and it's sad, as a mom to three sons. I ain't gonna lie, like I was for the DNA test with all I'm gonna say is I got two grandsons, and I was like, nah, DNA, get the test because you just don't you honestly, and I feel for some men who are in that situation who have paid child support for 18 years just to find out little Johnny ain't his. Like that's some effed up mess for you to have done that to this person. So yeah, like I'm all for it. Swab. We swabbing everybody. We swabbing for HIV, and then right next to the HIV test is a damn DNA test. Let's pick them both up. Okay, and we got to find out because it's not fair to men out here thinking that they the only ones in it, and then they find out the mailman in there too. Okay,
God,
most
God, the
women are
mailman. Jeez.
whomever the Amazon delivery dude are openly. More women are openly bisexual. Okay, I will give you that. Not me because I ain't licking of it. I'm sorry, not
So
me.
so this that social stigma, man. Listen, I'm actually in favor of getting rid of the stigma. Let go out there and do you, man. But don't be dipping and dabbing, and that's causing the problems. And if you like men, just like men. So
Well, there are people who like both. And you know what? I feel like as long as you are honest, like I think that's what all boils down to this whole conversation. Like I feel like Doctor, we got to be honest. We too old and too grown, to not be honest about what you're doing, who you with. Like a lot of times men don't want to share that because they be like, nah, she not gonna be down with me if I have another woman. So they feel like they gotta lie. But what happens if that woman turned out to be crazy? And she boiling them bunnies on that stove. What was that movie back in the day? For those who remember in the 80s, what was that? You know
Oh
what I'm talking
yeah,
about? Fatal Attraction,
fatal
right?
attraction. Yeah, yeah.
You might f around and get with somebody who's crazy. So it don't be worth it. It don't be worth. Yeah, that's right, Lynn. I'm just saying, Dr. L. Um, I'm just that second date, you return back and y'all just sit there. Y'all can
Listen,
bring like
I I
you can
am
bring
in
a
favor.
bottle of wine
I'm in
and just
have a
just sit.
picnic in the parking lot, celebrate the results. I'm in favor of this. I'm not knocking it. I'm not knocking anybody who wants to protect themselves. You guys protect yourself. I can only speak for what works for me. And if you want to have a good time, that's what's gonna take. So,
Mm.
but
Shonda
I
said,
am
mhm.
encouraging people to protect themselves. I'm
Yes.
loudly and clearly saying, protect yourself and be honest if you
Be
have
honest.
something that is transferable. I mean, don't hide it. Don't I mean be honest and don't do these types of behaviors that we're discussing here. Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah. And Shonda says Nigeria has that problem, and in some parts of Uganda and Kenya. Yeah, because I don't think it's New Guinea, y'all. It's just New Guinea is not in Africa, is it? I don't think it is.
I don't know what country it was. I
I'm
just
just saying. I'm just saying.
yeah, but you're harping on that, B. I mean, okay.
I'm just wondering. I was just wondering. Okay, mama's baby, daddy's maybe. Probably yes. Okay. Yes. Honest. Yeah. Yeah. We gotta communicate. So to go back to the original question though, he's somebody with herpes, and of course, like I said, it's impacting his ability to perform because of the stress and the stigma. And I think, I know we laughed a lot, and we had a lot of great conversation, but I think the main point is, my main point is y'all, you got to be honest. I would respect you a lot more. The person who wrote the question, I respect you a lot more because you chose honesty than some of these people who are not even honest with themselves. So as long as you err on the side of being open to communication, I just feel like you'll come across people, women who are open to receiving that. Just like I know Anita and myself said, like I do believe like there are situations like you gotta be willing to talk about it. Right? You got to be honest. If I can't say anything else, be honest. And Sunny says, I'm with Dr. L. Be your authentic self. Like what you like. Yeah. I mean, I think that's the overall theme, y'all. We got to stop with the BS. Stop hiding it because that's not fair. I feel like it's not fair.
I started a poll, so it should be in the chat. With someone with an
Oh,
issue,
thank you,
uh,
Shonda.
be a problem to you. So if you guys want to fill out the poll, it's either yes or no. So let's just try to get some numbers here. And so again, so the guy who emailed you, his mental status and his mental frustration was causing his ED. I thought there was a separate issue. Is that what we're
No,
saying?
I think the anxiety is causing,
Okay.
yeah, of having the conversation. But just, if he only knew that, like he says, it's a lot of us out here, but you're in good company because 50%, almost 50%, but the numbers are increasing. So we might as well say 50% of Black women also have herpes. So, but I don't know, is it like you have herpes, they have herpes, and then they, like, does it like cancel each other out? Like, is there anything that could not mesh? Like herpes and herpes get together? Is it okay? Like, is it going one herpes going to make the other herpes worse? Like, I don't know. I'm again, I'm not a doctor, so I don't know. But I feel like You go on date number 2, have the conversation, be honest. I think when if somebody is dealing with ED, and we've talked about ED, not me and you, Dr. L. Okay, not me and you, but we've talked about I've talked about ED on my show with doctors and professionals about ED. Right, I feel like ED is also can cause like from a sex therapist, it can be caused because you're stressed and you're overthinking, right? And so if you meet somebody and y'all are talking, y'all are open and honest about it, I feel like you have a lesser chance of allowing ED to impact you sexually. That's what I feel.
Mm.
Okay. And let's see.
So,
Yes.
so the ED, and somebody brought this up too about the testosterone thing that was further up. ED, yeah, it can be caused by stress, but also you have to, that's another reason people keep asking me why I want to leave the country. That's another, the food, right? I want to get away from this food.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
these chemicals are killing us slowly. And we're already
Mm-hmm.
dying slowly anyway, but I just can't deal with this food, So,
I'm with you.
and
I'm definitely with you.
the short time I've been back, I just feel differently. So, when you're in these other countries and stuff, it's just there's nothing better than eating fresh fruit off the side of the road, man. You just buying some stand or something, to me. But you know,
Mm. Well, no, you're right. I'm definitely with you there. I know when you find a place to settle to, I said I'm gonna come visit because I love to travel, and we're gonna get the pineapples off the side of the road, and the mangoes. We're gonna because you're going to the South American country, so we're gonna meet Guadalupe and Consuela, and we're gonna get the pineapples, and we're gonna have healthy food because I'm with you. I'm trying to go to Southeast Asia. What did you call Southeast Asia? What name did you use?
I, what? I didn't call it no some
Yeah,
derogatory name. I
no, it wasn't no derogatory name. You just said a name. I can't remember what it was.
I don't
The
remember what it
name.
was either. I don't remember what it
I'm
was.
gonna
Southeast
replay it
Asia,
back. Asian.
Asia.
hmm
It is Asia.
hmm
Southeast
No,
Asia.
no. Anyway, he said I tried to send this comment early in the conversation. If you can walk, you can dance. If you can talk, you can sing. Well, I don't
I
know
ha-
about. Oh,
I am
I
I am
try to
tone
sing.
deaf. I am not musically inclined at all. And my family, the Hunters, are especially my cousins who live in Massachusetts, are very very musical. They can play multiple instruments. I am tone deaf, and I can dance, but I have to practice. Like I can't just normally just do it. I really got to work on it. It just doesn't come natural to me. So
Okay. Well, I'm glad you at least realize that. Okay. So agree with you, V. As adults, we should be honest with each other. Yeah. And I'm trying to get some more of these comments. Amen. It shouldn't cost you an arm and a leg to eat healthy.
it's
That's
crazy.
very true.
You can get a
Very true in this
cheeseburger for
country.
whatever it is now, $15, and a salad is going to cost you 20.
And a cheeseburger don't be cheap. I mean, don't be a burger. Um, if y'all saw how hot dogs are actually made, and like I said, I was an animal science major, and we watched them, tear the pig down, and you see the body parts and everything, and then everything that was left, they said they make into hot dogs. And
Yeah, I knew that. Hot dogs and sausages. Yeah,
yeah, and I
I
ain't
stopped
had a
eating that
hot
a couple
dog
years ago.
since.
Yeah, I
That's been
stopped eating
30
that.
years.
Yeah.
So some folks don't like testing crazies. Yeah. Well, all right. Well, I'm going to wrap up. Dr. Is there anything that CDC guidelines for herpes management changed around 2022? If a person doesn't have persistent breakouts, they don't have to repeatedly take antiviral meds unless they're immunocompromised or high risk.
Yeah, I think I heard something like that before. Because herpes is somehow different, right? It takes
Uh,
there's outbreaks to it, right? So you don't always have it. Same thing, I think, even with HPV, if I'm not mistaken, there's outbreaks, and if you don't, and the outbreaks are triggered by stress, foods, and things like that. So it's really kind of a different type of thing versus if you get gonorrhea and it just always there. But again, consult a doctor. Don't listen to
yeah,
me.
consult the doctor. I know. Was we true? I truly don't know. Yep. Road trip with Dr. L. I'm with that. So is there anything that you'd like to end with, Dr. L?
Yeah, all that stuff I said about me not wearing condoms is not true. I was just trolling y'all. So No, no.
I'll delete the conversation then. Okay.
Yeah, no. But no, seriously, protect yourself. Do what you got to do. Have conversations. Be honest and transparent. And if it's a no for that person, it's a no. But a lot of people are open to a lot of different things, and no one is ever.
Yeah.
I'll open, transparent. I share results. If you're that type, I'm just saying, if you're that type of person, share
Hmm.
results. Be open, honest. Go to the clinic, get tested for yourself. You got
Yes.
family and obviously who loves you and all that. So and protect yourself. If somebody is insistent on it, then wear it, or whatever. Do what you
Yeah.
got to take, do it to protect yourself. So yeah,
I agree. Yeah, and please, I'm all for condoms, y'all. Especially Black women, y'all. We got to be out here protecting ourselves. Y'all protect yourselves as you get into these relationships. Do not hesitate for a second to ask them to see their results. And I mean, y'all should go to the doctors together because you can edit a PDF. Okay, you can edit the numbers, the letters say on a PDF. So if they just have a PDF of their blood work, y'all, no, we need to go together. We need to do this, as if we're going to be intimate with each other, let's go together, y'all. You have to be your own advocate, to be your own advocate. Don't let these people, regardless who they are, try to tell you anything differently. So I would like to say thank you. Yeah, thank you everyone for tuning in tonight
hit
to
the
the
like button, y'all.
conversation.
Hit the like button.
Oh yeah, please like and subscribe to both of our channels. And we do appreciate y'all joining the conversation and being open and candid with us. And thank you for allowing us to do the same. All right, y'all, take care. And until next time, y'all. Well, peace out. Good night, y'all.